Hank's the family fixer, always with his tool belt. But living with prostate cancer, he needed help. He asked his doctor about Xtandi and enzalutamide. Xtandi 40 milligram tablets treats men with prostate cancer that has spread to other parts of the body and responds to a medical or surgical treatment to lower testosterone. Xtandi may cause serious side effects: seizure, a brain condition called PRESS, allergic reactions, heart disease that can lead to death, falls and bone fractures, swallowing problems, or choking that can lead to death. Stop Xtandi and get medical help at once if your face, tongue, lip, or throat start swelling. Tell your doctor at once if you faint, have a seizure, quickly worsening headache, decreased alertness, confusion, vision problems, chest pain or discomfort, or shortness of breath. Xtandi can cause harm to an unborn baby or miscarriage. Use birth control during and 3 months after Xtandi. Common side effects include muscle and joint pain, feeling unusually tired, hot flashes, constipation, less appetite, diarrhea, high blood pressure, bleeding, falls, fractures, and headache. Talk to your doctor and visit Xtandi.com.
This is the Joe Concha Show.
Joe Concha.
Joe Concha.
Joe Concha.
77 WABC.
If it's Wednesday, it must be Annie Frey Day. That's right, Annie. You own the most nondescript day of the week on this show. Congratulations and greetings from New Jersey, New York, Connecticut, the New York tri-state area, to parts Midwest. Are you in Illinois right now or Missouri?
Yes, I am in the People's Republic of Illinois. I work in a free state in St. Louis, but I can see Illinois from our studio. So, yeah, we have a very blue state, red state thing going here with the St. Louis market where the radio station, 97.1 FM Talk, I'm on. But, boy, we really have a nice comparison of you want to run things this way or that way. You can really tell when it comes to Missouri and Illinois.
Wow, it's 97.1 FM Talk. Radio host Annie Frey is with us. That is from 12 to 3 Central Time, of course. And you can listen to this anywhere. You can listen to any radio station now. You don't have to be in the area to do it. Right? It's pretty simple with the World Wide Web. But let me ask you this. If you are hosting a show that serves St. Louis, why not just live in Missouri and all the benefits that come with living in a red state, or families there, kids are there, you can't uproot them at this point like I can't in New Jersey?
I'm on in New York City, right? Is that what we're talking about right here? The
Something
people
like that.
living in the blue? I mean, there's not many places that Illinois residents can look and see a bluer landscape. And you are not the first person to ask me that question. And I bet there's a lot of people listening right now who understand that home is not just a street address. It's not just a building. I am so fortunate in Illinois, which is my home state, Southern Illinois. So folks, if you're in upstate New York, you might feel a little bit different about what New York politics mean to upstate New York or elsewhere outside of the big city. But I have 4 kids, and my 4 kids live within 10 minutes of all 4 of their grandparents. And that's priceless. That's something that J.B. Pritzker can't even take away from me. And so I will continue to fight like hell for some common sense to come back to Illinois, which might seem like a hopeless endeavor, but it's worth it for me. And I do appreciate the opportunity to see that, states like Missouri, or even let's talk about Minnesota just for a hot second here. I'm really looking forward to Minnesota, the exposure of the fraud taking place there. When we start digging into other states like Illinois, like California, I mean, take your pick, I think we're looking at a bellwether here that this is maybe the number one way that a blue state might consider an alternative for once in a long time to say, we're not doing that anymore. Let's see what the other people have.
Wow, what a great point. We're talking to Annie Frey, radio host extraordinaire out of the Missouri, Illinois area, Southern Illinois area. I'm looking at a map, actually, of Illinois right now from the 2024 election. Boy, Illinois is red, except for that one big blue pocket right near the Lake Michigan. I believe that's called Chicago. Without Chicago, Illinois is a red state.
I think people don't really realize this, and I'm really trying to hammer it into, the Lincoln Day County dinners that I go talk at and the people that I meet who really, really want to restore some common sense. I did an interview today, I think it was with Congresswoman Mary Miller, who's here in the Illinois 15th District, and she said that Donald Trump got 200,000 more votes than J.B. Pritzker got in his last election.
Oh, wow.
The votes are here. If the statewide election goes, if we get like 23%, 24% of Cook County to vote red, the Republican wins the statewide. That's how blue Chicago is, but how realistic it really is if you hone your message, if we run good candidates, and if you have something strong to vote against, like the fraud that's being exposed right now all over the place, we got a statewide election. J.B. Pritzker, Mr. No Kings, is running for his third term right now with all of his gold doubloons. And I think, maybe this year, maybe there's a chance that if we run the right candidate, we can get something back, some common sense back in Illinois.
So you're saying there's a chance. Yeah, Ralph Cramden there running Illinois. I go back and forth between Fred Flintstone and Jackie Gleason as far as Pritzker, but I think he wants to be president one day, and that just ain't going to happen. And we're talking to Annie Frey. You are so right about Minnesota that sometimes it takes something really, really bad to happen, and not bad like natural disaster or anything like that, but the disaster that is this fraud that could be anywhere from, we know it's $9 billion, but it's probably going to end up being like $20 billion. For a state like Minnesota, like this isn't the federal government. $20 billion is like quadruple the entire state budget and what they have to spend. So the fact that Tim Walz was, basically overseeing this state, the way he oversaw his National Guard, the way he oversaw the Tiananmen Square massacre, when he said he was in Hong Kong when he was actually in Nebraska, the way he oversaw his football team where he doesn't even know what a pick six is. I could go on and on, but Tim Walz is an absolute disaster. But you're right. Minnesota holds the record right now. The blue state, the one blue state that has not voted Republican in a presidential election, no state, whether we're talking California, Illinois, New York, no state has gone longer than Minnesota, 1972. You got it all the way back to find Minnesota voting red, which means they voted for Carter twice, Mondale, Dukakis, Kerry, Gore. You want to name like the ridiculous candidates that they supported? Yeah, it's insane, right? So yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe it is time. Walz drops out. I guess Amy Klobuchar may be running for governor now. We'll see. She's a train wreck as well, but not as goofy as Tim. In fact, here, I want to get your reaction to this, Annie, because we're going to play Cut 8 here, guys. Cut 8, because Tim Walz, right before the Somalian fraud broke, actually was doing music videos advertising the one product that he loves most. This is cut number 8. Go.
I'm Tampon Tim, the people's friend.
What?
Free tampons for all the men.
What?
Daycare's full of kids. Well, kinda.
What?
But the money goes to my dear friends.
Yes.
From Somalia.
Yes.
I had not heard that.
No. Billions gone astray.
Kids, no one's there. Welcome to Tampon Tim's Daycare.
Wow. Tampon
man.
Tim's Daycare. Would you leave your children with Tampon Tim, Annie? A rhetorical question. It is a Wednesday.
This doesn't even have to be rhetorical. No, I would not. However, the thing about Tim Walz that I think that people really need to hone in on right now is only one of two things can be true, and I can't really think of many other alternatives. Either as the governor of Minnesota, he knew what was going on, or he didn't know what was going on. And I haven't figured out in my mind which one of those things is worse. That all of this fraud, that the government could be hemorrhaging taxpayer dollars left and right and not know about it or be aware of it and not stopping it.
You're right about that. What is scarier? That Tim Walz, I'm going to go with didn't know what was going on. I just think he is that detached from actually doing his job. He's a lot like Newsom, where he's in front of a microphone a lot doing these D-list kind of podcasts or, pops up on CNN or MS, whatever it is now. I guess it is MS now I think about it. And never actually governing. Like Newsom seems to never work. And Walz is a close second. And ever since he somehow got picked to be Kamala's vice presidential number 2. And again, she had one big decision to make during that entire campaign. And her gut, according to, go back and read the story sometime, like in the New York Times, her gut told her that Tim Walz was the better choice over Josh Shapiro at 64% approval in Pennsylvania, and a guy like Mark Kelly, who is a weenie, let's face it. I get he was an astronaut and he served, and congratulations on your service, but boy, talk about an opportunist. They were better choices, as horrible as that is, and Pete Buttigieg. But Buttigieg, apparently, according to her book, was too gay, and Shapiro was too damn Jewish. So let's take the goofy 80s sitcom dad that is Tim Walz. And think about this, Annie. Outside of a couple swing states, he could be one heartbeat from the presidency right now.
Those would be the most vice presidential jazz hands this country has ever seen before. We dodged a major bullet, that is certain.
Yeah, a cannonball, like a Scud missile we avoided, I think, at this point. Forget bullet. And imagine Tim Walz, let's say he gets indicted and he actually goes to prison. Now, I never believe these things happen. Like Jim Comey probably should be in prison, right? And John Bolton probably should be in prison. And Nancy Pelosi for all those stock trades, that she's outperforming the S&P 500 over the last 20 years by something like 600%. The Gordon Gekko of Congress, she should probably be in jail. It never happens. In the end, no one goes to jail. Hillary Clinton should be in jail. It doesn't happen. But if Tim Walz went to jail, imagine having those jazz hands. That can't be good at an all-male prison.
Maybe he could go to a women's prison. I don't know.
That would fit.
That would track, right?
That would track.
That's how the story ends. That's how the story ends.
Thank you.
Yes,
meanwhile, so they had this Somali fraud hearing about Minnesota today, and this representative who, again, there's hundreds of people in Congress, so there are a lot of people you won't hear of outside of Jasmine Crockett and AOC, who obviously are good at drawing attention to themselves. This is Representative Emily Randall. All right, guys, this is cut number 7, and this is her takeaway from the obvious fraud that's happening in Minnesota. And you would think that some lawmakers, even on the Democratic side, would care about this because obviously with COVID, this probably went on in every state because you could just hide and reallocate so much money under the radar. But here's cut number 7, and Emily Randall telling us exactly what we really should be focusing on. Cut 7, go.
We can trot out all of the data that we want to create the sense that there is a bad guy. There is a bad group of people. There are folks who are not among us. There are folks who are other.
They're Somali.
I think we should spend a lot more time looking at ourselves, looking at American citizens, looking at white men.
White men! Boom! There it is. It's not the Somalian community, which overwhelmingly engaged in this fraud and even sent a lot of this money back to terrorists in Somalia. Oh, no, Annie. It's about the white man, the cracker.
Yeah, I don't think that we in 2026 now, I got to get that year right. In 2026, people do not have time for this crap anymore. They are going to continue to try, trot out this type of message where the faster they go to racism, the more they are screwed. The faster they try to snap to the color of somebody's skin, to categorize people by, when you see them, everything about them because you see their skin color, so their whole story. Sure. That is racist. They are being racist, and they go immediately to accusing other people of that with which they are to try to decoy the actual problem that is at hand. And everybody sees the big problem. Thank you, the patriot, I think, of our generation, Elon Musk, for allowing truth to exist on its own without having to be vetted by people who are in on the game. We get to know what's really going on right now. They can't cover it up. They can't red herring us into thinking, well, I don't want to get canceled by these people anymore. The truth is not a commodity at this point anymore because of Elon Musk and buying X or Twitter and making it X. That the faster any of these people go to the racist card, the more they are totally cooked.
Oh, and you're so right about that, Annie. Even Tim Walz blaming white supremacy for the investigation into Somalian fraud. You can't make this stuff up. Why is it always
the white guys? Why is it always the white guy? You're the guy in charge. The first thing you should do is step down and let a person of color or a female take that job. You go first, buddy.
That's the thing. If you just say something like that, some people out there will accuse you or I of racism. Actually, it's quite the opposite. All I care about, and I teach my kids this over and over again, is I go full MLK Jr. on them, right? It's about the character. It's not about the color. It doesn't matter how you were born or what you look like or what your skin color is. Are you a good person or are you not? And that is basically it. And I think they get it. And I guess I've done something right on this earth. Anyway, Annie, they're telling me we got to go. But thanks so much for joining us. Get to your son's basketball game. By all means, what position does he play? We'll leave it on a happy note.
Power forward. We'll put it there. Power forward.
Oh, like a Charles Barkley, but different. Okay. That works.
His name's Charlie, too, so that's
Is it
perfectly.
really? See, Sir Charlie. I love it. All right, Annie, get to your game. I really appreciate it. We'll have you back on the show real soon. Thank you.
Thanks, Joe.
All right, the great Annie Frey, everybody, out of Southern Illinois. I guess they're really close together. I got to look at my map sometime, but I would imagine that is the case. Anyway, this is Joe Concha. This is the appropriately named Joe Concha Show. Back with more in just a moment.
This is the Joe Concha Show, 77 WABC.
Starting a business can seem like a daunting task, unless you have a partner like Shopify. They have the tools you need to start and grow your business. From designing a website to marketing to selling and beyond, Shopify can help with everything you need. There's a reason millions of companies like Mattel, Heinz, and Allbirds continue to trust and use them. With Shopify on your side, turn your big business idea into Sign up for your $1 per month trial at shopify.com/special offer.